You're listening to the relaxing, soothing, and stress-free sounds of Sacramento smooth jazz.
Coming up after the break, I'm going to have D.L. Edwards. He's going to be on the phone with me going over his new tracks. Oh my gosh. If you heard it earlier with Leon Guidry, if you missed it, it's okay. We have it coming up after the break. So don't go away. I'll be right back. And so what I have right now, I have Mr. D.L. My gosh, this guy is amazing. And so he's on the line with me right now. How you doing, D.L.? What's going on, man?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. You know, listen, I first came across your music some time ago. We communicated more than a year ago, and you introduced me to your Christmas song, and it was epic to me. And I said, we got to keep in touch. And you had told me you were working on some smooth jazz tunes, and now you have it. And I'm thrilled that you're sharing it with us here at KDEE.
We are completely excited about this new record, man, and this album. I promise you, like, as excited we are to share the single, I can't wait for the world to hear the rest of the music.
Right. I tell you, man, it's, you know, when you were here earlier and we were playing it, me and Leon was just looking at each other like, this is epic. And it's seasoned, meaning that it sounds like, you know, you can tell that your experience and those around you, your network of individuals that you collaborate with are seasoned individuals, and they have poured into you, and you have added whatever knowledge you have into this. So who worked with you on this?
So, man, I have what I call is my great cloud of witnesses. I've got guitar mentors and sages and senseis that are helping me along the way every step that I go. First and foremost on the list, man, is my big brother and mentor, Derek D.O.A. Allen, who is not only a phenomenal man and friend, but he's an incredible producer, has all the plaques to prove it, man. The dude's musical identity is incredible. Then there's Odell Ross, the guitar boss, who, in my estimation, is one of the greatest guitar minds of our century, of our generation. And I bought everything he has ever sold, man. Like, his mind on chord structure and things of that nature, man, is impeccable. And I appreciate him being in my life, man. Bobby G, who is one of the funkiest guitar players ever. And so you're talking about Derek Allen, Bobby G, Odell Ross, and then the cherry on this whole guitar summit Sunday is Big Mike Hart, man, my brother and my friend. As a matter of fact, it's his birthday today, and he's probably on a plane or flying somewhere. He is the musical director for Boney James now, and he's just done so much since moving to Los Angeles. So these are some of the guys that have been pouring into me for the last few years. Remember, Michael, I've only been playing guitar 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you know, I was going to bring that up because I remember our conversation a year ago. You were telling me about how you're self-taught and, you know, how have you come from this? And I said, I was really amazed by that because most people, many musicians, you know, they have this traditional story starting at age 5. I was born with this thing in my mouth, or I'm playing with this. You know what I mean? But you came from a different path, but it shows that your commitment to the level of excellence that we are now seeing more so than ever. You know, it's not new to you, but it's new to the world because a lot of people haven't heard of you, and now many people are starting to hear more and more of you. You're getting a lot more attention on this, and I'm not saying this to just fluff you up. When we showcase your music later on, I'm gonna share with the people what you've given to us to share. It's epic to me. It's seasoned. It's ready. You know what I mean? And I think, in fact, Leon Guidry said earlier that it immediately attached himself. It touched him immediately. Because sometimes, you know, when we're listening to music, we hear new music that's presented to us. Sometimes it has to grow on us.
Right.
But this right here, it immediately made an impact. And
I get what you're saying, man, and I appreciate all of the accolades and all of your words, man. Like, sometimes it's hard for that to sit with me, but I'm going to be honest. If it wasn't for some rehearsals, DOA grabbing the guitar out of my hand and going, hey, I'm tired of that chord, you can play it this way, and opening my ears and my mind to a different way to play guitar songs and things of that nature, or to listen for guitar parts. Big Mike, man, will call me out of the middle of nowhere on a tour and say, hey, I'm sending you a song. I want you to learn it. I'm going to call you in a couple of days. I want to see how you play it or your interpretation. And when I get some of the chords wrong, he goes, that chord sounds cool, but here's the chord in the song. So I would not be who I am on guitar if it weren't for these guys, man, pouring into me. And really, on the way home today from the station, I was thinking, man, they want me to be great.
yes,
And some of those confrontations have been tough.
right?
Some of those conversations have been tough. But I realized if I step up to the challenge, then I'm able to stand on the stage, man, with grace
Yes.
and hold my own. I'm not worried about whether or not I'll be as good as George Benson or anything like that. I'm trying to find the best D.L. Edwards I can be and still pull from these sages that have been pouring into my life and put out music, not only that I can be proud of, but they can be proud of sharing as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with D.L. Edwards, Sacramento bass guitarist, known as the church guitarist. And
Yes, sir.
he is doing some fantastic things, and we're having a conversation today, yet again, actually. I had an opportunity to listen to him be in the studio earlier, but now he's joining me by phone here in Sacramento, and he's sharing, of course, his story. Now, we have a couple tracks here, and I want to get right into it. So let's talk about the first one, Jack of All Trades. You know, talk to me about how this came to be. And there's a story behind it, I know, but let the people know what the story is so they can feel the passion too.
All right. So the moniker I've been tagged with all of my life is Jack of All Trades because I used to be a barber. I used to work for Gurus to Go. Like, if it gets in my hands, man, I can do it, and I try to do it to the best of my ability. So there's a term or phrase called Jack of All Trades is a master of none, but still always better than a master of one. And
Yes.
so in the pandemic, I've learned to kind of diversify. And I'm not so scared to fall into another genre or another mode or another method and try to take the bull by the horns and do it. So I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor, I'm an evangelist, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a brother, I'm a mentor, and now I'm a smooth jazz guitarist.
Come on
Who
now.
plays multiple instruments.
Yes.
And it just felt right to call the album Jack of All Trades. And this is the first single from that album where I play most of the instruments except for the live saxophone and the drums. So the saxes are played by a guy in Los Angeles named Don Bell and another guy by the name of Emery, who's a killer at like 22 years old. And then the drums is played by Dante Taz Roberson, one of my good friends and brothers in the Bay Area. Man, I want this to stick I want you to be driving in your car and maybe have to pull over because you need to dance a little bit.
So let's do this. Set up Jack of All Trades. Set that up for us because that's what I'm going to play right now so the listeners can hear what we're talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're getting ready to hear is what I've been sitting in my studio for the last 2 months trying to cook up to make sure this meal is going to be right. Hopefully, this one song makes you want to buy the rest of the album. This is my new single, Jack of All Trades.
And you're hearing it first right here on KDEE 97.5. Yeah, there you have it right there. D.L. Edwards, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Brand new track that he is gracing us with. You're hearing it first nationwide, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, D.L. Edwards. But I got a surprise for you because it was a surprise to me. I also have one of the producers, well-renowned, Mr. DOA Allen. And what I'm going to do is bring him up right now, too. DOA Allen, what's going on, sir? How you doing today?
How you doing? Man, I'm doing all right, man. I'm sitting here enjoying the music and your interview with my little brother over there, DL, the guitarist, and it sounds incredible, man.
Doesn't it, man? It's amazing what you guys did.
I just have to call in, man, and just show my love and gratitude to this man who means the world to me, and I'm highly most proud of, and watching him fulfill his goals and dreams. So I had to call in,
Absolutely. And of course, we appreciate everything that you're doing and lending your gifts into this track, actually a couple tracks. So thank you for gracing us and blessing us with your gifts on this. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well DL invited me on a project and to play a minor part I'm really proud of, but this work you're hearing is nobody but him and his creation and his vision, and to see it come alive. And I'm really most proud of this brother because when he tell you he hasn't been playing long, it's crazy. He has not been playing for a very long time, and where he is right now in his gift is just incredible. And I remember just every time I talk to DL, he always talks about a brother. He talks about Norman Brown, and being one of his favorite jazz artists. And it's crazy because I got started with Norman way back in the 80s, and he reminds me of a young Norman Brown with his melody writing and his approach to smooth jazz music. And when I listen to his project, I'm like hearing a lot of the traits that stems from that, and I'm really proud of him. And DL is one of my guys that I'm really hard on, and because the reason why I'm hard on him is because I believe in him the most. He's one of the guys that I believe in the most. And I tell him all the time, if I didn't talk to you or come down on you, just know that means I don't care. I don't care about your career. But I spent a lot of time talking to him and getting on him, and I beat him up a lot. And that's when he was talking about the rough stuff. He's talking about me. It's okay.
Right.
And I'm really hard on him because he's great and he has the potential to be one of the greatest smooth jazz guitarists that's ever walked the planet Earth. And so I'm excited, man. I'm not going to hold you. This moment is not about me. It's about him. But I just want to let my brother know that I'm proud of him, man. He got this project done on his own. He made it happen. I played a very small part, but the encouragement, man, that lives between he and I is going to continue, and I'm looking forward to his future, and can't wait to see what happens. I'm excited for him.
Hey, man, I thank you very much for chiming in. It was unexpected, and I'm grateful that you stepped in and made the call. While we were playing the track. Man. Absolutely, you're always welcome here. You know that already. You already have the car key access, I believe, and so
absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. Let's go. I'm gonna let you go, man. Get back to my brother, man.
All right, now many blessings to you.
Congratulations to my brother DL, the guitarist, man. I love that dude.
Absolutely, sir. Take care.
Yes,
That's
sir.
Derek DOA Allen, folks. Wonderful producer, world-renowned producer, ladies and gentlemen. And so DL Edwards, that was unexpected. Right?
Yeah, man. That's my big brother, man. I love Derek DOA Allen, man.
Yes.
I do it. Like some nights I sit up kind of thinking about, I probably heard of him 20 years ago, but walking into the room and being with him and being under his tutelage, man, sometimes like tears almost come to my eyes because I really respect and revere his voice.
Yes, totally understand. When you're working with a number of people and they're pouring into you, it's an awe moment. It really just sets you back. And you being a man of faith, I know you're embracing it, and your prayers are being answered, and you're just in amazement. So, but let's do this because I want to get in the other track because that's amazing too. I was telling you earlier, let's put this on second because this is like the butter. You know what I mean? This one's nice, and I listened to it actually a couple of other times after you and Leon played it earlier in the today. And take us through this track here, Feels Like Home, because there's some vocals on there. And who is that wonderful, amazing, anointed, gifted voice in the background?
Man, I'm so glad you asked. So, Feels Like Home is the track where I finally realized smooth jazz was where I wanted to be. Thus the title, Feels Like Home. Like, there are just some things you do when you finally fall into it, you're like, this is where I should have been the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, I come up with this little melody or whatever. I get inspired by this little melody, and my wife is in the car or whatever. She's riding the car going, you never had me sing on any of the projects, because she's listening to all these songs come in, but she's got this little ditty, man, on Feels Like Home.
Right.
Like, let's go in the studio and you lay it, man. My wife, her name is Portia Edwards. She's an accomplished singer of her own, man. She's in a stage play right now called God's Trying to Tell You Something. She's one of the featured artists in the play. And so I was like, babe, let's go do it. So she comes in the studio, man. She laces this track. The people who get the album is going to get something extra, because at the end there's going to be some extra little spice on it.
Oh, okay.
Feels Like Home is that track, man, to put it on in your car and just ride to it. Get on 80 or 5, man, and just drive. Try to forget about all the problems and the stress and just chill. So my wife is singing background on this track, man. She has an incredible, beautiful voice. I love her to pieces, man. So the next track you're going to hear, Feels Like Home, featuring Portia Edwards.
All right, you're hearing it first, ladies and gentlemen, or actually second now, because, but now you're hearing it, Feels Like Home, right here on KDEE 97.5. That's D.L. Edwards with his second track, Feels Like Home, right here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz, KDEE 97.5. In the background, Portia Edwards.
Yes, sir.
Yes. That's nice. Hold on, I'm letting it all play.
That's the love of my life.
That's the love of your life?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Portia Edwards. And I'm gonna say to you, Portia, if you're listening, you did an amazing job, and that was the butter on that beat. And you did a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to, in fact, we're all looking forward to her and some other tracks, and her making her debut as well.
Yes, sir.
So tell you something. Tell me something, D.L. Edwards. Man, how can people get in touch with you? How can they connect with you on social media?
So I'm everywhere, Michael, as the Church Guitarist or just Church Guitarist. If they put that in, they'll see me. All of my pages kind of like are the same. So you can get me at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at TheeChurchGuitarist. And then if they want to just contact me, they need some guitar at a private event, or they need a one-man band, they can email me, TheeChurchGuitarist@gmail.com.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. D.L. Edwards, the church guitarist, doing his thing and making his debut on some smooth jazz, and he's associating himself with some wonderful and amazing gifted individuals who are chipping in their knowledge into this. We're looking forward to some great things. And in fact, when everything else comes out, thank you for sharing it with us. And, and we're going to get this word out. So thank you again for your gift and you sharing your gift with us today.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the time, man, that you guys took out to allow me to shine a little bit on this broadcast, man.
Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, when I get back from the break, I'm going to have George Benson and have some huge groove with us as well. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more Smooth Jazz.